Hello everybody, my name is Ilya.
And my name is Tyler. Together we make up Kovray, a couple that loves to play board games.
And loves penguins.
I love penguins, but you know what I don't like? Diving into the oceans.
Do you like hungry penguins?
No. So that's why I'm glad penguins like to deep dive.
Today we're going to be doing a Kickstarter preview of a brand new game called Deep Dive.
What gave it away?
The penguins.
Deep Dive is designed by Molly Johnson, Robert Melvin, and Sean Stankiewicz. It's published by Flat Out Games in partnership with AEG, who helped sponsor this video.
Now in Deep Dive, you'll take the role of penguins diving to get that yummy grub from the ocean floor.
Yummy, yummy, yummy.
But you want to be careful to avoid the predators. And maybe use the predators to distract them while your friends dive even deeper and get more of that yummy, delicious, scrumptious food.
Yummy, yummy.
Because the player with the most valuable food at the end
wins.
But let's give you a quick overview of how to play.
As always, you'll begin by setting up. You'll first sort the tiles based on player count. You'll always include the main set, but we'll add the extra ocean tiles if you're playing with 4 to 6 players. You'll sort the tiles into depths, shuffle them, spread them across the table, keeping each of the depths in the same area, and finally, remove tiles based on your player count. Every player will then receive 3 penguins of the same color. You'll choose the start player, and you're now ready to play. Your goal is to dive into the water, collect the most valuable food, while avoiding predators in order to score the most points. On your turn, you'll use one of the penguins to move through the depths of the ocean. You'll begin at the shallow end. You'll either take an already face-up tile in that depth or choose to flip over a tile. If you choose to take a face-up tile, you'll resurface and your turn will end. If you choose to flip a tile, multiple outcomes can occur. You can flip an open water tile, which means you have to proceed to the next depth and make the choice to choose or flip again. You can flip a rock, which you may choose to resurface with and use later to dive to deeper depths. You can flip a food tile, which you may also choose and resurface with to claim the points. Or you'll flip a predator tile, and at this point you're caught. Your turn immediately ends and you'll leave your penguin on that predator tile. Now if you flipped a rock or food and choose not to resurface, you can continue on to the next depth. You can then make the decision to choose a tile or flip one, following the same process until you're either caught by a predator or choose to resurface, which ends your turn. Now how does resurfacing look? Well, if you claim a rock, on your next turn you can use that rock to dive and begin your turn in any depth. This even means you can dive all the way to the bottom. If you resurface with food, you'll begin building your tableau. You'll want to create rows of 3 with different colors in each row. What this means is you'll create columns of colors and fill spaces from top to bottom. But you'll want to be careful as you want to complete rows in order to score the most points. Now let's talk about predators. If you're caught by a predator, the next dive allows you to skip over the depth where your penguin has been caught. The other penguin is essentially creating a distraction for you to dive deeper. The last note we'll mention here is that if all 3 of your penguins have been captured by predators, you'll need to retreat. You'll take all penguins, including the one that was just captured, back to the surface, but don't worry, you won't leave empty-handed. You'll choose a single food or rock tile from a depth where one of your penguins was trapped. So how does the game end? Well, when the last face-down tile in any of the 5 depths of the ocean is flipped, the game end triggers. The active player completes their turn and play continues until it is the start player's turn. At this point, the start player flips the start player or last dive token to signify that every player now has one final turn. You're now ready to score. You'll sum up the points earned from the food tiles. Each completed row scores you the full sum of points, and any incomplete rows will only score you half the points rounded down. The player with the most points wins.
Will your penguin have the most filled belly and just be the happiest, jolliest little penguin?
There's 3 of them, don't forget about that.
Triplets.
Triplets.
Okay, well let's jump right on into our preview. What are some of the core mechanics in this game that make it stand out?
Well, I think the most obvious one here is the push your luck element. it's fun to have that decision of whether or not to go into a further depth or take the tile that you just flipped over or any of the tiles that are there. And then on top of that, it's also very cool to draw like the bubbles, because then you have to go further. And that can be dangerous because the farther you get down, the more predators that exist. And yeah, it just becomes this like continuous flow of pushing your luck, getting harder and harder as you get farther down.
I really like that mechanic because I think we have a few friends that are reluctant to push their luck, and they will always choose the safe option. So having the bubbles come up,
bubbles, yes.
and then forcing you to go down further and further, it's almost that like, well, push your luck a little. It's okay. You'll be okay.
Yeah.
And it's like a welcoming-esque mechanic that I haven't seen in a lot of other push your luck games.
That is true, yeah. And then on top of that, like even when you do lose all of your penguins, you get them back, and then you also get to take a token. So it's not the end of it's not the end of your dive. It's just the beginning, hopefully. And you get to keep on diving while bringing in a little bit of a treat or snack for you.
It's also a very thematic push your luck set collection game because your penguins are hungry, and what are you gonna do? You gotta dive into the ocean and hope to get some. And what's really cool is that initially you see predators and you think, oh no, my penguins, what's going to happen to them? But the thing is the predators don't eat your penguins. Penguins actually just have to battle them a little bit and distract, while your other penguins are able to skip that layer and go even deeper. So I really like everything is very thematically, cleverly utilized, because it could have easily been said, well, that penguin's eaten.
And now another penguin's come along when you've returned it. But no, it's the same three all the time.
The triplets.
Yeah.
One of them is just lying down always.
Always nose first into it. I agree. I think the theme here is like pretty fantastic. Even just like going into like the further depths you go in, the change of predators, the change of food that you'll see.
The ratios, it's very cleverly designed.
Oh yeah, the ratios, of course, because it does make it harder. But I mean, like, it goes from a seal to like a shark. And I think that's a lot of fun.
Killer whale.
Is it a killer whale?
It looks like a killer whale.
Well, either way, no, it's a shark. Boom.
Oh, but there's also killer whale,
I think that's the one above it. Yeah. Anyways, it's very interesting to see like the distribution increase as you go further down, because it does get dangerous, and also like you're finding squid instead of like mackerel, and I think that's kind of neat because it is it's kind of how it works, right?
Exactly. Now, the other thing this game has in store for it is the table presence. You're going to you could take a significant chunk of the table up for this, but you can also condense the tiles so they're in a smaller area as well, almost side by side. But it is really cool to gander and look and see, I wonder if that tile is going to be the one. I know we had a game with our friends where our friend said, I'm going to get a yellow octopus that's worth 9 points, or squid that's worth 9 points.
I think it was a green squid that was worth 8.
Okay, so, well, Tyler remembered, I didn't, but he said it, and he called it, and he got the exact thing he wanted, exact points, and all of us were just like hands up, screaming, and then of course, me on my next turn got eaten by a predator instantly, or distracted the predator rather, not eaten.
Yeah. I agree. I think like you can stand up for this game too, so like all of you can be around the table standing up, and like you can really get into it. You can have some like back and forth with each other, be like, oh no, don't do it, you're gonna get caught, or something silly like that. I think because of that like table presence and like ease of the game, that it really like elevates the whole game itself. And yeah, I look forward to playing this game just again because of the table presence. The last thing I probably want to mention about this though is the set collection, the interesting way that they've put together the set collection. You can't just collect one color as much as you would love to. That's not a good strategy. You want to kind of like balance the colors so you can get those sets of 3 different colors, because that's where you're going to score the full value instead of the half value. And the reason I think that's so neat is because you eventually have all of these tiles that are flipped up from people pushing their luck or diving or whatever it may be, and then you have these interesting decision points where you're like, oh, there's a green one here that I really need, but it's only worth 4. I could go further and maybe flip a green one. And then, so I guess like in that sense, it adds more to the push your luck, but it also makes you very aware of what you need to be going for, and it creates this strategy for you. So you don't necessarily have to be worrying about it. You just have to try and, well, I guess, push your luck properly.
Well, you ask yourself, to what degree do I want to push my luck?
Exactly.
How long do I want to continue until I have to clean this up and get this all in order to try to be competitive? But it is really about that experience. I think all the games could have been close, even if someone got lucky and got a couple, because someone else could have really strategized and collected a lot of sets that are worth lower points.
Yeah, I wonder
so
if that would work.
There's a really good balance to it as well. But I think that brings us to the next question is, who do you think would enjoy Deep Dive, and who's this game for?
I actually think if you just, in general, like the push your luck mechanic, this is a great game to just play for yourself. Well, with others, of course, but it really does...
There's a solo mode.
There is.
There is a solo mode, so you could play this one yourself as well.
It really does capture like the push your luck mechanic really well. So you're likely to enjoy that if you are a push your luck mechanic lover.
If you're looking for a thematic push your luck game as well, I think this one is definitely for you. It's fairly light. It's really easy to introduce to people too, because you can essentially say, here, you have penguins. Start flipping tiles. Start gathering your food. And then you can go and discover the rules as the game kind of progresses. So it's really easy to jump into. But I think what I'll say, the bigger piece, if you're looking for more of an experience, because this game really is an experience.
Yeah.
Deep Dive is definitely for you, because sometimes you'll get lucky and score and get all those squid and score a ton of points, but sometimes you'll just be caught up in predators a lot. Yeah. And that can feel defeating. So if your group is looking for that type of experience where you want to have a memorable story, where you want to build relationships with each other, this is definitely that type of game.
And then on top of this, it does play at a 6-player like max, so like that is a fantastic player count to be able to have just in your collection.
It's a lot of penguins.
Yeah, it's a lot of players, so you're bound to have some fun with that.
And last thing I'll say before we wrap up is it's a fairly short game. This plays in 15 to 20 minutes. You can take really any canvas. You know, you can lay this game out on a couch and traverse through the tile. Maybe don't, because they'll get in the cracks.
Yeah.
And that won't be very fun. But because they're tiles, you can really place them anywhere. And you can experience this game in a variety of ways. Hopefully not in the ocean, because the tiles will dissolve.
I don't know if they would dissolve, but they wouldn't work. It wouldn't work.
No.
Don't play deep dive while you're deep diving.
Yeah, that's a fair point.
Don't deep dive while deep diving.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But if you want to learn more, you should check out the Kickstarter for Deep Dive in the comments in the description down below.
It's going to be paired up with Point City, so be sure you check that game out as well, because both of these are bound to cause some fun at the table.
Well, for our question of the day, since you have 3 penguins, what are their names? What are the troublesome trio up to?
Well, I was going to name all of my penguins with like the starting letter D, but that doesn't work. I don't think. I can't think that fast on the fly. So I would name mine Timothy, Tyrell, and Tiffany. We'll go with 3 T's.
Tiffany,
instead.
Tyrell, and Tiffany. I like that.
No, Timothy, Tyrell, and Tiffany.
Oh, Timothy and Tiffany. That's tricky.
Yeah.
I think I was looking at you while I was brainstorming my names, and the names I came up with are eyeball, ear, and nose. Those are my 3 penguins.
Poor penguins.
Eyeball is gonna get all the squid. I could just feel it. Well, if you enjoyed our video, make sure to hit that thumbs up, leave us a comment down below telling us what you think of Deep Dive and who your penguins are.
And let us know if you're planning on picking up this game. Let us know if you've maybe played it already, or, you know, what other push your luck games you might enjoy.
Yeah. And if you're curious to learn about Point City, we also did a preview for that one, so click that video right here.
There.
Bye.
Bye.